we're taking it all. Diving deep into topics, we'll rise or we'll fall. Every episode's a journey, a ride through the maze. Join us on this path, let's ignite the blaze. So grab your headphones tight, let's go for a ride. With every spin and twist, we'll cut and run and hide. The Prime Directive, where the laughter's alive. Society's reflections, let's help each other thrive. Politics and culture, oh what a blend. Join on the journey and let's set the trend.
Not to digress.
Yeah.
But Simon Sinek, I don't know.
Simon Sinek, yeah, I know Simon.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to him. Please go and listen to his speech about 8 minutes.
Yeah. Which one is that? It's on YouTube, right?
It's on YouTube.
One?
It's on YouTube.
Okay. We could put a link down there. We'll find it and we'll put it in a link on the bottom.
Yes, just to make it easier for you, so that way you don't have to spend so much time.
Well, and then our viewers kind of know like where we're coming from. That this is the grounding foundation that we're coming from. As we are educated insofar as I don't have a doctorate or anything, but I have a master's. Went through education as well, plus umpteen numbers of hours in principal's license. What's your educational background?
My educational background is rather interesting, and I'm just going to spend 30 seconds because otherwise I'll be spending a long time.
No, do it.
I started my education career out of pure bewilderment at the fact that I would even go to college.
Right.
I was set to go to a trade school, by the way. Just wanted to say I am so elated that trade schools are coming back.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to have split opinions on Mike Rowe, who made that very popular show, Dirty Job.
Yeah.
But I'll, just like Cenk.
Yeah,
I
that's
take
fine.
A good idea.
Me
I
too.
don't care where it's coming from.
Me too. Got good friends that are right-wing libertarians.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, he really put a great spotlight on the importance of those dirty jobs and how important a lot of those trade schools really are.
Oh, it's invaluable. This just kills us as educators. Anybody who's been in the education system for a long time, like me, we see the children that come through, and we know. I'm telling you, I know in 5 minutes, this is a kid who's gifted in their hands. They're mechanical. They can take apart an engine. They know schematics. They're building a robot. They're doing this. They're doing it. Maybe they don't want to go become a college professor. They don't want to. They really want to get their hands dirty. They want to change the engine oil. They maybe want to figure out how to do the electric car stuff and build their own. They want that path. Some are even just like plumber stuff. They want to follow the trades. That's they know they want to get going. And here we are in an education system that just literally imprisons them into this standardized testing paradigm that they could give 2 squirts about and don't care about, and doesn't really meet their needs. We're not differentiating for them, But
speaking of which, education can happen just about anywhere. Which, for example, I feel like I'm a big DIY kind of person.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I don't know, the internet will.
Yeah.
I can learn. Yeah. And I'm more than willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
And then continue with your education. Tell us your journey.
See, this is what I
know. It's my fault. I'm a bad interrupter. So keep going. No. I am.
But it's kind of interesting because I ended up changing my major so many times it's embarrassing.
Okay.
I took close to a decade to finally get my undergrad.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's not what's wrong with that. I think the fact that I even got to the end goal that I just wanted to finally just graduate, it's just interesting to me because, again, I was just bewildered at the fact that I'm even at a college, because I remember, getting there. And I can tell you right now, for me, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to get to a institution of higher education because you feel like you don't belong. You feel like you are intimidated because everybody knows more than you do.
Okay.
Which, by the way, that is true everywhere you go.
Yeah.
When you walk up to a cashier at your local store, that person knows more about how to operate that cash register than you do.
Sure.
So appreciating what they're capable of doing is something that we have lost. We have lost a sense of appreciation for the service that somebody provides you, which is interesting. Again, oh my goodness, this is going to be so bad. I'm going to digress because I don't know if you read a recent article that right now the self-checkouts are backfiring on a lot of corporations where people want to engage with a cashier, with a live person.
It depends. For me, it depends on the store. Like Costco, I kind of like going to the self-check. But in other stores, I want to go check, like any of the music shops. I want to go chat with the people that are the artists, that are the players, that are behind. I want to talk about gear. I want to banter and bullshit about that stuff. No, continue with your education. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It was my fault, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I ended up changing my major, 4 times. So I initially was a music major.
Okay.
Yeah, I was initially a music major.
Guitar.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my
impressive
study.
Okay.
And it was at that moment I was a music major for about a year and a half.
Okay.
When I realized that you would need at least a master's. To get into a suitable career.
Sure.
Looking at a long-term kind of perspective.
And the music business is a bitch.
It's brutal.
Oh man.
Well, to be fair, a lot of businesses are brutal, but
music, right?
Music
You'd probably agree with me. Music is a particularly difficult paradigm to crack to make a career of any kind. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so you started there,
and that was intimidating.
Oh
At the
man,
time, it was just completely intimidating. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought to myself, if I could get just a 2-year associates for whatever, that was like my initial goal.
Okay, yeah.
And I did it for about a year and a half, part-time. I worked full-time, pretty much throughout my entire educational career. At some points, I had multiple jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I had multiple jobs, so I was like,
you're a musician.
Juggling 2-3 jobs.
Welcome to being a musician.
Actually, I was never really a musician. I did have a couple of paid gigs.
Okay.
Which is why I'm just gonna say this. I was not a good guitar player.
You're cutting yourself. You're cutting yourself off of the knees. Don't do that. He's a good guitar player. We'll play some of his stuff in the. He's got excellent runs.
But I do want to just mention that at that particular point, I kind of thought to myself, well, what should I pursue to get a career in?
Yeah.
Then I switched to business.
Okay.
Like many of my generation.
Yeah.
Being a millennial, it was, hey, business is where it's at.
Right.
And then I thought to myself, no, I've done this for 2 years. I'm just not feeling it. Which, by the way, is also another thing that I wanted to say to some of the younger generation who are kind of like feeling aimless.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah. Completely aimless. I was switching stuff back, and forth, left and right. Could be just my nature of being,
put in the comments too if you're one of those listeners who's you felt this, especially young men, because that's really our podcast is really. It's not that we don't want women listeners, because there's some gonna be great women listeners out there, but for you young men right now that are really struggling out there, I guess what they need to hear is that we've been through this, and there is you can make it there. There's like this other side to the suffering. Like you will go through this. You will go through that what a great word to use, aimlessness. You will feel judged and everything else. And I'm guilty of judging these young men because I was one. And sometimes still am, but there is this, there is hope. There can be a brighter tomorrow. In my journey, I think like yours too, guys, education will lead you like a northern star through the storms.
Just betterment. It's and again, there could be divided opinions. And considering the divided opinions that exist in this world altogether. Tony Robinson, the motivational speaker.
Sure. Or is it Robbins? Is it Robbins or Robbins? I think it's Robbins, I think. Well,
thank you.
Tony, sorry if we butchered your name.
I stand corrected.
That's okay.
But he speaks of a concept called kanai.
Okay.
Constant, never-ending improvement.
Yeah, I've heard of this concept. Sure.
You will make incremental changes that amount to a greater change over a long period of time.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about evolution, but I am actually.
Well, this is. It's personal evolution, right?
But that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, kind of a joke for some of you. You will learn this probably very quickly. I have this completely ridiculous. Speaking of education, I've got this particular thing about cars.
Okay.
I've been a car enthusiast for decades and
interesting.
decades. I know a lot of specifications on cars. Like if you pulled up a high-performance Ferrari or something and asked me about it.
You know these things.
I know these things
Interesting.
off the top of my head.
Interesting.
I never study these things. I was so interested in them is I would read it and I would know it. It's just because I was just so interested.
Yeah.
That's how it was. But what was going with this is the prospect of evolution is key. Improving upon the previous generation, which is literally what we should be thriving as a society, as a civilization.
Yeah.
But furthermore, for example, you look at cars. There is a particular model of vehicle. It's called the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution.
Okay.
And it's literally called the Evolution.
The Evolution.
Where each evolution, there's a number attached to it. Where one is just better than the previous one.
Okay.
Now, the internet world and a lot of other car enthusiasts are going to just say, no, we stopped at the Evo 9. The Evo 10 was not better because it didn't have the 4G63 engine. It had 4V11.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that. But I do want to just say that concept of kanai, constant never-ending improvement, which is one of the reasons, speaking of the new year, of New Year's resolutions, the reason why people start going to the gym and then after a while they stop is because oftentimes the incremental changes are so incremental that there is no visual evidence of improvement.
Okay.
And sometimes there are setbacks.
Right. And evolution takes, we know it takes time.
Correct.
It's just its time.
But the objective is to keep going.
Yeah.
The objective is to
make it through. That's
persevere.
Perseverance.
Perseverance, which ties into what.
So how did you do it? How did you started it in education?
I started
then you persevered and you changed your major from music to
business.
To business to.
And there was something else that I changed it to. Honestly, now that I
like a language or something, because you speak multiple languages, right?
I do. Okay. I do speak multiple languages, but it wasn't languages.
See, and guys, and he's cutting himself down over here. How many languages do you speak here?
So it's 3.
3.
There are some people in my life who would say that I speak 5 based upon the geopolitical nature of linguistics.
And music is a type of language too, right?
Yes, it is.
So there's 6.
Oh my gosh, that's 6. But no, it's just.
He said 6, not sex. He said 6.
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Not
the number.
Sex.
Number 6, and it's 3 languages, 4 with music.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm not a linguistic scholar. It's not. I mean, I barely speak English.
We should make that one of the episodes and chat about that too. But that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And then finally, I went to a guidance counselor who was, I think, just sick and tired of dealing with me.
Is this here in the University Colorado?
Locally.
Okay.
And it was so funny because this particular individual looked at my
You got 5,000 credits, and you got
100 at the end. It was 127 credit hours.
Okay, well, don't feel bad. 167 credit hours.
Total at the end.
End.
So for me, this was just in all manner of classes that didn't correlate to anything. And he said, "Listen, you have a number of options.
Yeah.
Here are some of the things that I think you should pursue based on your aptitudes."
Yep.
And communication was one of the degrees. And he said that's applicable to just about anything.
Okay.
And I made that decision right then and there, and I could not be happier.
Okay.
As a
And this is where you ended up taking classes from my wife. Is that right?
Which leads us on how we all ended up
see.
meeting.
Okay, so here we go. Full circle. Here we go. Here we go.
And it's interesting because there are individuals that will be pivotal in your life, and surrounding yourself with individuals who can further your goals.
Yeah.
In whatever it is that you want to pursue.
Yeah, that's some great advice right there.
Is critical. It's critical. Sometimes these people will just fall into your lap without you necessarily seeking them out.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, I just want to take a moment and express my gratitude for the immense kindness, effort, and energy that was provided to me, and not just to me, but all the other students who were in your classes. So I cannot just tell you
she's so sweet.
How important that is. And I think it's important for others, especially people who are listening to our podcast, to find people like you.
Yeah.
So as we close the chapter, let us you're here. The Prime Directive's calling, so let's pass a beer. The Prime Directive, where the laughter's alive. Society's reflections, let's help each other